Hello, third graders. Welcome to another lesson in our third grade math program. It turns out today's lesson is lesson number 15, and you're going to do some problem solving today that's related to the 9 factor. In some way or another, the 9 factor is bound to be part of your problem solving. And you've got some tools now. You've got some tools you've used over the last 2 or 3 days to solve 9 factor problems. But bigger than that, we're going to do some problem solving. That's what math is all about. We learn math so that we can solve life's problems. And here today are examples of real problems. Now, over and over, we've talked about ways to attack, right? Ways to approach problem solving. And that's why I created this for our students here at school today. And it's not anything brand new, right? We've been talking RDW for 2 years. But until this is internalized, and that means that it's a natural part of your thinking process, it's sometimes helpful to have a checklist. So just a little review. I read the problem carefully. Well, indeed, sometimes more than once. I make a tape or some other drawing to match the story. I label what is known and unknown. This is really crucial. For us to really understand a problem, we got to know what we know, right? Do I know the number of equal groups? Do I know the size of each group? Do I know the total? So consider these things as you move forward. After that drawing, I write an equation or a number sentence. Because once we know the unknown, the number sentence, the equation, becomes more obvious. And then I solve the problem. So many of us have been solving problems by counting on. It works almost all the time. I write a statement that answers the question. Well, then you have a complete and high quality answer. Okay? So let's do one of the more simple one-step problems and then one of the two-step problems. This happened recently, and you probably remember a lesson. I think this happened with the 8 factors. We had one side of a page, a journal page, that was one-step problems, and the other that was more complex. You can pick which page you'd like to do, all right? Both of them are grade-level challenges, but the two-step problem is more sophisticated. It makes you really think twice. Here we go. Let's just do the first one as a warm-up. Mrs. Parson gave each of her grandchildren $9. She gave a total of $36. So how many grandchildren does Mrs. Parson have? Well, according to our checklist, after reading carefully, we make some kind of a drawing. That's the standard tape. And we label what we know and what we don't know. Now, when we read this, that Mrs. Parson gave each of her grandchildren $9, is that in fact the number of groups, or is that the size? I'm thinking it's the size. I'm thinking we can come here, put a $9 in there, and know that that's the amount Grandma gave each child. That's the size. Okay? What else do we know? A total of 36. Well, as soon as we hear total, we should indicate that on the drawing. There's the total. And what's missing must be the number of equal groups. So that's what's missing, the groups. So now, knowing the total is a very great hint for finding a number sentence, because knowing a total when we have equal size groups means division fits this perfectly. We take the total, 36, and divide by the size. And we're going to find the number of groups, right? 36 divided by 9. There's the equation. I solve the problem. Countdown strategy. Well, you know a few different ways now to use these 9 facts, right? And you might have this memorized. I'm going to use the countdown. 9, 18, 27, 36. Got to the total of 36, and we had 4 9s. So, 4 is the answer. Finally, on the checklist, I write a statement, right? We answered the question. Sometimes before I write the statement, I reread. What's the question say? You know, how many grandchildren does Mrs. Parson have? Well, Mrs. Parson, or she, if I want to shorten this, has 4 grandchildren. Okay. And we've got a high quality answer using the checklist. I mentioned that we would do one of the 2-step problems. And we'll just do the first of the 2-step problems here. Happens to be number 4. Aunt Dina and Uncle Chris share the cost of a limousine ride with their 7 friends. The ride cost a total of 60. You know, that's a little bit odd. I wonder if that word should be costs. Oh no, maybe that's past tense. The ride cost a total of 63. It just sounds awkward, doesn't it? If everyone shares the cost equally, how much does each person pay? Now, this is a little tricky, and I'll tell you why. When we think about how many people there are, we know that there's 7 friends, right? But are they included? Is that an 8th person? Is Aunt Dina an 8th person? And is Uncle Chris number 9? I want to read it again. See what you think. Aunt Dina and Uncle Chris share the cost of the limousine ride with their 7 friends. I think it is. I think that 7 and 1 make a total of 9 people. And I think that that's the first most important thing to notice. So, if we know there's 9 people, does that mean we know the number of groups? Yeah, it does. 9 groups. So I'm going to try to turn this into 9 groups here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we know the total again. The ride costs $63. There's our total. I'm labeling for what I know. Okay? 9 groups. And I'm just going to go here and I say 9 groups. So, once again, if we have equal groups and we know the total, that means that the operation known as division is perfect for finding the unknown. So I take the total, divide by the 9 groups, and I'm going to find out how much each person pays. Right? So I write the equation. Now I solve. Countdown strategy? Well, it doesn't have to be, but you know, I'm going to do a shortcut. I happen to know, I think you do too, that 5 9s is 45. So I'm just going to start at 5 9s. I'm going to go like this. 45, 54, right? Counting on, and 63. There we go. What's the answer? 7. 7 9s. Yeah. So, now, I'm rereading the question, how much does each person pay? And I can start that sentence with each person pays $7. And you probably have been noticing how that dollar sign goes in front of the number. Okay, so this is interesting. I guess the first step was to assemble this and figure out how many people And then the second step was to do the division. You're going to see that there are 2 steps in these 2 also. All right? So pick the page that you'd like to complete. Take your time and do some high quality work, right? Okay. Have a great day. So long.